You've been in a relationship for more than, let's say, 6 months, give or take, and there is absolutely zero conflict. No one is ever expressing any level of concern, discontentment, something they want to talk through, someplace where just the existence of two completely different people trying to integrate to some extent is creating a bit of friction. I would put a question mark next to that. And when I say conflict, I'm not talking about knockdown, drag out fighting, screaming. I'm talking about healthy, respectful communication. But almost inevitably at this point, I mean, you could very, very generously extend it out maybe to a year. But if somewhere in there is not a power struggle, which is what couples go through after they leave the honeymoon stage. And again, it's just a direct reflection of the mask of the dopamine and the honeymoon and getting to know each other falling off. It's very healthy. It's very normal. If that has not seemed to occur, there is a chance, I might even say in the insecure attachment world, there is a good chance that one person is potentially leaning into a dismissive avoidant place and they are not communicating. They are not wanting to express any negative emotion, but it may be there. Disclaimer, I'm not saying this would always be a dismissive avoidant, but I will say that in the majority of client interactions that I have where my client was kind of classically anxiously attached and they have their stuff to work on, just like I do, just like everyone does, they were in a relationship with a dismissive avoidant who was basically like humming along. Everything seemed, quote, fine. I would ask them, are you okay? Because there would be these nuanced shifts in mood or, slight increases in mental or physical or emotional distance. And almost inevitably, the dismissive avoidant leaning person is like, no, I'm fine. Everything's good. And then there is the eventual end of the relationship where they basically go cold and they say something along the lines of, I just can't get there with you. I'm not in love with you. There's no spark. I don't think I'm the one. I don't think I'm right for you. I don't think I can give you what you deserve. Something like that. In addition to our subconscious programming around our attachment styles, I think a lot of this stems from either the lack of information about interpersonal relationships and the stages of romantic relationships and the overabundance of influences like romantic comedies and fairy tales that suggest that a healthy relationship is one where there is no conflict. Or if you have parents that never mirror conflict, it's not anyone's fault if they internalize this concept, but it's not typically how two secure people handle dating. You will find in a secure relationship that as the honeymoon fades, there is a level of, like I said, negative emotion or things that need to be worked through, or maybe moments of fears and or even moments of doubt, but it's handled in a regulated and respectful way. And it is, most importantly, it is handled, it is addressed. And I just think if we had more education about all of this, we could avoid the absolute shock and agony of having someone seemingly turn into a different person overnight because in their worldview, they've been percolating on the issues of the relationship, thinking about these concerns, flaw finding, and that's a coping strategy. I'm not finger pointing. And in their minds, it's their decision to make. So they're not communicating that with the person, or they don't want to communicate it, or they don't know how. So I'm not saying this applies to every single relationship or even every single anxious avoidant dynamic, but I will say if you're in a relationship where one of you consistently leans in more and one of you consistently leans out a little bit more, even if things seem wonderful and fabulous and copacetic, if no one is talking through the fact that all relationships have difficulties, it might be worth examining, could that be happening?